What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Now today, as we see from the video, we'll be talking about some of the Spider-Man gameplay that was posted a few days back. I know I'm a little late on it, just been busy with school stuff and everything, but I do want to say though, last night I did stream on Twitch, so there's a link in the description for me to start streaming on Twitch. I found some cool overlays and everything to make it actually look pretty good and got some decent quality from using Lightstream to directly stream from my console. Unfortunately, I can't do it from YouTube, but at least I can do it on Twitch, and it looks actually pretty cool. So I will play multiple games like Marvel's Avengers, Apex Legends, Halo Infinite now, and etc. So yeah, link in the description. Hopefully, you guys hit that follow button, and I will try to stream Marvel's Avengers maybe mostly every Tuesday if I can, unless I say I can't. So yeah, but without further ado, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Now let's dive on into this video. In the background, you can see that there's a gameplay from IGN. Not the best gameplay from IGN, to be honest. Because IGN doesn't really do, or I know it said it was captured by a dev player. Which we didn't see really a powered up Spidey, and they were kind of showing some basic combos. Nothing too crazy there. His swinging, we all knew would be above, like air swinging, because it makes sense for it. So, but I'm gonna be reading the Paul Tassi Forbes article that he made for it. So it kind of gave us more information than what IGN did. So yeah, so let's dive on in. So basically, Paul Tassi says that if he had to summarize, Spider-Man's new role in Avengers is more like a crowd control and support. Basically, because it makes sense, because all his attacks, you can see, probably like web based, so you can like web them up and and then the web bomb does like a whole effect area, so that makes sense why he is. So they did say that he has crowd control. He guessed it. It comes from his webs. Spider-Man created a new web status effects that builds up with various moves and ultimately webs up enemies big and small, which freezes them in place and makes them more vulnerable to damage, which is pretty cool. I think some of the gameplay said it looked like he could just do a takedown automatically, so that'd be very cool to see. Paul Tassi did state, though, he was very impressed on his traversal. They really went pretty far down the Insomniac road, which, yes, we all know that everyone's, comparing it to Insomniac and stuff, but then again, you have to remember it's unfair to do it because Insomniac is a single-player game. This is not. This is a DLC character, which, again, he was not even supposed to be in this game until Sony had to give them money for it. So that's why they didn't really make it for Spidey. That's why he might not be his full potential in this game. So keep that in mind. But as I continue from the article, that he did say that from Sonic Road here, as he does not attach existing objects like light posts, poles, and building corners the way we see grappling hook heroes like Black Widow and Hawkeye, which makes sense. Which I'm glad they didn't do that, because I would have sucked, especially in like the wastelands and everything. So I'm really glad they did that. But he continues saying that if he web can reach object, it will be he has an R2 based swinging mechanic that will work even in open fields. We will suspend disbelief to make them work, since the web is grabbing nothing. But as such, you won't see him running on the ground much to get around. And he also can web crawl and run up straight up the walls. These unique abilities alone. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, I know the gameplay didn't show off really good gameplay on the swinging everything. Yeah, it could be it's a little janky at times and weird at times, but I think it's the best they can do for a DLC, to be honest. Because what are you gonna do? It's a DLC. It's not like the game was made for him. So yeah. So basically, his three main heroic skills are the web-based, obviously. His sport ability has a spider drone that follows him around and shoots webs, which is pretty cool. Something similar to Black Panther. His slings web over a wide area of net and netting enemies, which basically is the web bomb that they teased a while back, I think last week. So it makes sense. His ultimate is a giant web ball slam that does big damage, and I believe also webs enemies, more or less anything Spidey webs enemies, most of his combat, basically. He also has different types of web shooters and swaps between for different effects as well in terms of web behavior. So basically, the ultimate is just like, as you can see, like he kind of just gets a big ball and like throws it on the ground. So yeah. Now everyone's really mad about the story and everything. Like I've been saying, it makes sense because it's a DLC for one platform. Why are they gonna make a whole big DLC for just for one character for one platform because if they continue that story, that if it's connected in this universe at least, everyone's gonna be so confused. So why would they do that? But everyone apparently still doesn't get that. They want it to be Insomniac level and everything like that. But please stop with the unfairness right there. That's a single player game. It's a multiplayer game with him as a DLC, not the main antagonist. So keep that in mind. And it's Sony's fault technically, so that he didn't get a story because he had to be on one platform. So technically yell at Sony. So yeah. So going on though, his story here is being told through cutscenes and dialogue. Does have not have special zones or super unique missions created just for him, making this a smaller scale hero event. It'll be less than what we saw for Hawkeye or Kate. Makes sense given that this is PlayStation only. See, even Paul Tassi said that. When I asked if they use the tactic to get more heroes and more quickly in the future, Chris Adamczyk said they would absorb feedback about how this goes and act accordingly. Which, if they do something similar like this to get the more lesser known heroes out and just kind of keep rolling heroes out that way, it could bring players back in, to be honest. Like, give them some type of story, like maybe a few cutscenes, but nothing like too crazy unless it's like one of the bigger DLC characters you want them to have. But I think they could work. Hopefully they do that in the future. They would not comment on whether Spider-Man could come to PC and Xbox players after saying a year. They did, however, confirm the Avengers not having crossplay has absolutely nothing to do with Spider-Man. The PlayStation deal, as some players have theorized, it's a totally separate issue. Now that's what I've been saying, actually, to be honest. I was one of those people that theorized that. It made sense at the time, but it was very interesting to read that he is not because of Spider-Man, the whole crossplay thing. So that's very interesting. But I would hopefully think he comes to a year later, maybe, or a few months afterwards. Maybe that would be cool, to Xbox and PC. But I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty much on the Spider-Man stuff. Then he goes on to talk about the Wakandan scoring sound raid, which is also coming on the 30th next week. Actually, this is a big and understanding why it's not another Omega Low thread. This is all custom designed for singular. There are puzzles, so we have to get through those. And I wish there's joy in progress because I hate that there isn't joy in progress. So, ooh, excuse me, my God, I don't know why I hiccup right there, but yeah, hopefully we see what happens with that. Basically, you want to use your voice comms for this because it's a pretty big raid type of thing that's coming. I think they did say it was quite long. You do fight Claw in about half the raid, as there's a ton of different phases for the fight and somewhat similar to what we saw in the campaign. So pretty similar to that. Paul Tassi did ask about lack of join in progress, and they acknowledged that. They understood that people really want that for an activity like this, but they have not announced a date for it yet. So it looks like when they said, like, when that comes up, when they didn't announce a date for it yet, it's being worked on, basically, I feel like, or at least it's almost done. A lot of people have been saying that it's coming out maybe on patrol mode, so, and they're holding off for that, maybe for the next year's content, like beginning of next year's content, hopefully that'll be very cool to see, but we shall see. For now, the only suggestion would go into the group, rely on count for people, but, to me, the biggest obstacle facing the raid, and I hope they figure out a join in progress. So basically, yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully that, he did say that Spider-Man looks fantastic, and I think they did a fantastic job with him in the context of the Avengers genre, and especially knowing they'd be compared to Insomniac, so, but, and also the raid looks good. So actually, Paul Tassi did say that they both look pretty good, which was very nice. See, actually, a lot of people, I think, like Game Informer and everyone, actually did say they liked Spidey and Raid. And the Raid, it's just IGN. IGN just didn't care. They were like, nope. No. They're like, no. So, and they gave us the devs gave us the really most janky and bad gameplay we've ever seen, really. Because even with Black Panther, they did that too, from like a couple months ago. But then once we got our hands on him, he became like a pretty good fan favorite. So I guess it's just up to next week to see on the 29th to see his deep dive and the raid information, and then Wednesday, right? Wednesday's the 30th. I gotta look. Give me a second. I don't know why I'm like forgetting. No, Tuesday. So maybe I will stream 30th then. So stay tuned on that. I will probably stream the 30th for the raid and everything. So I'll see you guys on Twitch probably next week, but I'll probably hopefully see you guys on Friday as well. So leave a like, subscribe, all stuff. See you on Twitch. I'll see you in the next one. Oh, bye-bye.